Okay, AOC finally responded proudly concerning a high school yearbook photo that proves she grew up in a wealthy suburb. She said, "See, I told you I went to high school."
And I can tell you, I know that when I was waitressing and struggling to put food on the table, for a while there, I did. I tried to stop caring. I tried to just keep my head down, work my shifts, and accept that this is just how things are. But that is no way to live, Arizona. It's no way to live. What I do know is that we don't have to live like this. And in fact, we cannot live like this anymore.
This is ridiculous.
Kelly didn't just spark trouble for AOC's political spotlight, she took it apart in a way nobody expected. With quick wit and spot-on humor, she exposed AOC's showy confidence, attention-grabbing moments, and stage-like reactions. Nothing was off-limits, from short-form video replies to dreamy economic ideas. And when AOC erased her post, it only made the carefully crafted online image she'd built through endless hashtags fall apart in front of everyone. The challenge left AOC caught off guard, showing that those who believed she always had sharp replies might have been mistaken.
Sense from AOC that he should be impeached is just absurd. Absurd. There's no... Okay, get back to me when you've read the Constitution or get a law degree, because you sound like an... There is absolutely no ground to impeach the president. He 100% was within his constitutional authority and his congressionally authorized authority to do what he did on...
AOC. What? She's kind of fun in a silly but earnest, wrong but adorable way. She's like your daughter when she comes back from her first year at Brown, full of half-baked, half opinions, in need of some gentle, patient deprogramming. But people have to realize new faces doesn't mean new ideas. Drives me crazy. AOC has never introduced a fresh idea or issue in her.
Greg Gutfeld didn't need a warm-up before starting his playful roast of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Just hearing her name seemed to switch on a giant comedy switch in his mind. It was as if he suddenly spotted a glowing sign that read, "Endless jokes ahead." Instead of treating AOC like a typical lawmaker, he jokingly painted her as a real-life political cartoon, someone who stumbled into winning an election and forgot to mute the imaginary laugh track following her every move.
She's like an 80-year-old leftist in a used bookstore. I mean, she may look fresh, but she's as stale as an abandoned futon on the street. It's like, I listen to her, I go, I heard that at Berkeley in 1983. So their problem is, and the reason why they don't have any ideas is they operate on half opinions.
He kicked things off by joking about her unusual talent for turning every Instagram live into a kind of mini State of the Union. Only this one starred bright lights and curious pets. Gutfeld joked that AOC's ideas felt like reheated leftovers from an old campus protest, warm enough to sound political, but not quite ready for real use. He added that she could stand among true specialists and somehow still walk away with a fresh set of half-formed catchphrases rather than solid knowledge.
So by now you heard that AOC, among others, were arrested last night. She truly is an American hero. It was brutal, taken out in cuffs. Well, technically, her shirt had cuffs. Maybe French cuffs, as she did surrender without...
Greg poked fun at her love for dramatic moments, saying AOC treated every hallway in the Capitol like a fashion runway, and every disagreement like a chance for an on-camera outburst. He joked that she approached lawmaking the same way a reality show contestant tackles a team project. Loud, confused, and absolutely convinced she's the main hero, even when the situation around her is slipping into chaos.
Whether it's a good idea, that's a debate we should be having. And look, if we could get congressional approval of the specific action, fine, I'm okay with that too. If you want to bring it to Congress, go ahead and see how that goes. I don't think it's necessary, but...
Gutfeld eagerly took apart AOC's boldest policy ideas, describing them as a mix of dreamy fantasy and financial trouble waiting to happen. He joked that the Green New Deal read like a rushed 7th grade science project, complete with sparkles, a poster board, and almost no real math behind it. He compared her approach to assembling IKEA furniture without checking the instructions, then blaming the chair when it wobbles and falls apart.
Let's do it. What happens? You have repeat criminals wreaking havoc. What if we have sanctuary cities? Hey, let's do it. What happens? finding sanctuary, safe haven. What if we give trans rights? Right? Oh, you just ruin women's sports. You ruin safe spaces. You make kids' lives hell. But
Greg also teased her constant activity on social media, joking that AOC spent more time filming clips than a full-time influencer, only with the twist that actual facts didn't seem to slow her down. He imagined her team meetings as a whirlwind of catchy slogans, phone filters, and someone talking about carbon emissions while snapping pictures from the backseat of a car. He couldn't resist commenting on the way she reacted to votes she disliked, turning each one into something that felt like a full-stage drama, complete with long pauses and a wavering voice. To Greg, when AOC didn't get her way, it wasn't just a disagreement. It was a brighter, more dramatic version of an ancient downfall. Meanwhile, Megyn Kelly brought her own method on a different platform, using calm precision instead of bold flames. Where Greg made big jokes, Megyn carefully uncovered AOC's public image piece by piece, each layer more surprising than the last. She started by questioning the idea that AOC was exceptionally knowledgeable, pointing out how confidently she repeated half-formed talking points with the certainty of someone who skimmed a quick article and treated it like advanced study. Megyn said AOC's speeches often sounded like motivational quotes that somehow wandered into Congress, full of passion, but not always built on steady structure.
Beautiful little town called Yorktown Heights in Westchester. It's not the fanciest of Westchester towns, but it ain't the Bronx by any measure. And the reason this is relevant is because a congresswoman who you may know as Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has been telling us for years that she is from the Bronx. And recently she had a fight with President Trump over tweet, text, truth, whatever. And she played tough and said, "Oh, don't you mess with me. I'm a Bronx girl and we eat Queens boys for..."
Kelly poked fun at AOC's habit of using big emotional reactions instead of solid facts, saying AOC treated every disagreement as proof that someone was a villain instead of simply holding a different point of view. Megyn joked that the world isn't split into heroes and bad guys, but AOC acted like she missed that message. Maybe because she was too busy planning another mini protest right in her office. Then Kelly turned to the idea of performance politics, explaining during a live stream that AOC wasn't known for passing laws or taking part in tough debates. She was known for putting on a show. Kelly said it was as if AOC brought a script and a spotlight to Congress, with the main goal being more online approval rather than clear plans. She also teased AOC's environmental positions, saying AOC treated press appearances like audition videos for an imaginary stage role. Kelly wondered aloud how someone who cared so much about the planet could take so many flights, joking that she traveled more than a touring DJ. Kelly claimed the depth of AOC's climate messaging was similar to a short bumper sticker, and the consistency was like a kid's colorful weather drawing. Megyn then commented on AOC's love of dramatic reactions, saying each story became a personal mission, and every opposing opinion turned into a major problem. She joked that AOC approached public policy as if it were an endless social justice poetry night, with each line delivered even more intensely than the last.
But if her pants had cuffs, she would have pretended to be in leg irons too. But real handcuffs, not so much. But that didn't stop her from pretending, and I hate it when people do this to me. When I ask people to put on handcuffs and they say, "I'll just pretend I have them on," I'd be like, "Sure, and I'll pretend to pay you after."
Megyn couldn't resist teasing AOC for repeatedly highlighting her modest beginnings, joking that AOC had turned her former job as a bartender into something like a superhero origin tale. Megyn imagined her next slogan being, "From mixing drinks to Congress, a bold journey in heels," and said AOC talked about her background as if she had invented the idea of hard work. He laughed at how she built a reputation for speaking for the people while rarely interacting with everyday folks, joking that her idea of a community was made up of short video commentators, online activists, and sidewalk climate protesters. He also questioned how someone who claimed to represent working families could spend so much time preparing for glossy magazine photo shoots. And when he mentioned her red carpet appearances, he called them fashion moments with about as much subtlety as a construction site, poking fun at how bold and attention-grabbing they could be.
And respectfully, AOC, well, that's real cute, except she only lived in the Bronx until she was age 5, when at best you're in usually kindergarten, maybe first grade. And she spent the rest of her childhood, 1 through 12th grade, in Yorktown Heights, which is Westchester. And by any measure, it is richer, nicer, and more white collar than the Bronx, with all due respect to my friends in the Bronx.
Greg joked that even though AOC often delivered speeches that sounded like messages stretched out with fancy synonyms, she still tried to play a modern-day Robin Hood in stylish shoes, distracting from real issues. Megyn then highlighted AOC's mixed signals, noting how she praised openness while avoiding tough interviews without pre-approved questions, demanded responsibility while dodging it herself, and encouraged empowerment while sometimes claiming she had no control. According to Megyn, AOC switched between bold leader and overwhelmed victim, depending on which role looked better on camera. Megyn focused on how AOC often turned complex topics into quick, shareable lines, brushing off anyone who asked for details as though they were slowing things down. She joked that AOC talked about capitalism like it was a forbidden name and treated every economic challenge as a chance to point at billionaires instead of doing the harder number crunching. Megyn added that AOC approached politics the way students run a college club, full of big ideas and energetic rallies, but with plans that didn't always move past the excitement. Once the snacks were gone, so were the posters and the ambitious messages.
Of course, AOC was mocked on social media for imitating being handcuffed, which is a change from her usually being mocked for imitating a congresswoman. That's not even close to being as disgusting as I can be. She, in fact, was gingerly escorted away to a holding area where she kept up the phony display before finally raising her fist to supporters. She then crossed her wrists behind her back, again in the faux handcuffed position. It's as tall a tale as AOC nearly being killed on Jan.
Gutfeld came back with energy, dubbing AOC the queen of delayed revelations, and teasing that she seemed to remember past hardships only when they became popular topics. He joked about her sudden dramatic flashbacks, which somehow always showed up alongside new laws or media attention. According to him, if there were an award for political improv drama, she'd win it every time, and then take a bow to herself. He also poked fun at her international views, saying her foreign policy approach boiled down to feeling bad, blaming America, demanding change, and offering no clear plan. He imagined her trying to solve global crises with inspirational quotes and vegan recipes. Then Megyn stepped back in, examining AOC's shift from activist outsider to favorite of the political establishment, all without acknowledging that she had changed. Megyn said AOC seemed to want both the perks of power and the thrill of rebellion, all while pretending to be outside the system she had joined. She compared it to showing up at a party and criticizing the music you chose.
Now some of her schoolmates, separate and apart from Benny, are weighing in on her claims. I'll get to the Benny thing in 1 second, but there was a piece in the New York Post talking about how she's embarrassing herself. She's embarrassing herself now with this Bronx girl.
She poked fun at the staged outrage, the endless photo ops, and the flood of controversies that always ended with a heartfelt video and a donation link. Megyn said AOC had turned congressional work into a kind of performance series, starring herself as the misunderstood hero, bravely facing reality in each episode. Kelly and Gutfeld both agreed on one thing: AOC wasn't accidental. She was a carefully crafted brand powered by Wi-Fi, presented as authenticity, and sold as a revolution. They saw her as predictable, a mix of outfit changes, protest signs, and stylish shoes, rather than intimidating. Greg joked that if AOC had a week to write a bill, she'd probably return with a playlist and a spoken word poem, imagining her trying to pass legislation with glitter pens and TikTok clips. In his view, AOC didn't represent the future. She symbolized a time when politics leaned left in style over substance. Megyn, normally sharp and precise, wrapped up her critique by warning that time itself posed a bigger challenge for AOC than her critics ever could. Slogans and hashtags fade, and eventually people expect real results. When that moment comes, AOC will learn that likes can't pass laws, retweets can't fix infrastructure, and no amount of dramatic camera-ready emotion can replace actual effort.
AOC was on 60 Minutes last night. Quite a feat for a newcomer. Must be all her great new ideas.
People are going to have to start paying their fair share in taxes. Once you get to like the tippy tops. On your $10 millionth dollar, sometimes you see tax rates as high as 60 or 70%.
What an expression. Now, the real story isn't AOC's very old ideas. It's the media's gushy view of her. Even with her old ideas, she gets on.
Yet the fact that AOC remained on stage, performing and drawing applause from audiences who hadn't even read the details, showed the roast wasn't over. Gutfeld and Kelly were ready to keep sharpening their jokes, sipping coffee, and waiting for the next scene as long as she kept speaking. Gutfeld jumped back in, saying that AOC's biggest achievement so far was turning every policy debate into full-scale political theater. She wasn't just missing the mark. She brought costumes, props, and speeches that earned applause from anyone not paying close attention. Greg joked that AOC could take a simple complaint about a pothole and turn it into a nationwide conversation about emotions, inequality, and the privilege of asphalt.
Check in on AOC and see what she has to say.
Any quick reaction on what's going on with Elon Musk and President Trump on Twitter right now?
Oh man, the girls are fighting, aren't they? I think this breakup we've been seeing a long time coming, but we'll see what the impacts are of it legislatively.
Okay. You're so cool referring to them as the girls. She's above it all, Ben. That's what she's trying to telegraph. You see, she's the adult in the room, the one out there who does a preacher accent. And she leans into her fake Latina accent. And like, she's the adult.
Gutfeld didn't hold back on AOC's so-called leadership moments, claiming that whenever a real crisis appeared, she arrived late, unprepared, and overly dramatic, like a firefighter showing up to a blaze with a vlog camera and a scented candle. According to him, her supporters devoured the spectacle like political popcorn, while she focused more on creating a narrative than solving the problem. Kelly chimed back with her sharp take, highlighting how AOC moralized every issue, but often ignored practical solutions, able to convince someone to recycle a straw while jetting privately to her next speech. She mocked AOC's selective anger, obsession with viral trends, and tendency to reduce serious policy debates into performative acts, turning every vote and disagreement into theater. Megyn concluded that AOC's main worry wasn't being wrong but being forgotten, since silence equals defeat in her world. Cameras, controversies, and rehearsed outrage ensure she will keep speaking, no matter who is watching.